So I use the vault to represent a creative container. You can think about it as a form of the mind, of the mental, where the mind is always processing information and it processes everyday moments, it processes things you hear on the street, snippets of conversation, um, different fonts that come up in signage that you pass on your way to work or on your way to the grocery store. It picks up on information that you see online and in your feed and on the news, things that you hear. It picks up on tastes and smells and anything that is sensed by the this body goes into the vault, the metaphorical vault, because all of those sensations and ideas and feelings become the creative juice that then gets processed by us and that we turn into creative material. Hi, my name is Yaz. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, which means at times it feels like my brain is on fire. I love getting into states of flow where I am just a pure vessel for creativity flowing from within me. Over time, though, I've realized that if I do not create some sense of structure, a place to contain and focus that creative energy, it takes over. So, what do I do about it? How do I move forward? My answer is the vault. So, that is why I use this idea of the vault, because I find creates it objectifies my creative container, my mind, all the things that I come across in my waking life. And it allows me to see it clearer and understand, okay, like what goes in and what comes out. It's kind of like how we talk about the line between consumption and production, or consumption and um, creation. Like if we make ourselves more aware of and more conscious of what we are consuming, what we create, what comes out of us, we will also be more aware of. So, earlier in this video series, I put 3 inputs into the vault. And now these inputs were pieces of creative ephemera that I have had around me. And I decided, why don't I specifically channel them into my vault and see what comes out on the other side? So let's say that the vault is the subconscious mind, okay? And I put 3 different things into the subconscious mind. One of them being the Mexican Loteria card, La Estrella, the star. Okay, one. One of them being focus expression as ASMR, and the last being the image of the lady in the veil. So I put these 3 inputs in my subconscious. They were already there. I had already had these things around me, these reference points around me in notebooks and in boxes and in my studio and etc. But I decided to be very intentional about putting them in my subconscious, in my vault, and seeing what came out on the other side, seeing what I outputted from that. So the first thing that came out was this woman in a dress looking up at a star like creature. Um, I see an eye there, and it's a star, but it kind of is more spirit like than star like. And then we have a painting that came out as well, which is unfinished. It's an oil, it's actually both acrylic and oil, and it's of the same image, just an iteration of that image. And now I'm at the point where I can pause. I don't want to finish this yet, um, but I want to look at it and understand what my psyche might be telling me from this image. I actually often hit this point in the creative process where I start to really like itch. Like I look at something I've made and it starts to make me really uncomfortable. And I'm at this point with this piece because I'm in disagreement with it. I see that it's come out, but it bothers me. I start to like be like, oh, like I want to change this and it's not good enough and let me do this and this. And this is the moment where I take a breath and I look at it and I ask myself, what is my psyche trying to say? And I find that this process is very important to me. It's a form of therapy, it's a form of gaining greater self awareness and understanding, and it's a form of asking questions to parts of myself that I don't always have access to, but that in the creative process I gain access to. So I look at this and I see there's a lady in a veil looking at the star. And what is the veil? The veil is a head covering. The veil is an ancient symbol in a way of the known and the unknown, the divide between the known and the unknown. It's a symbol of mystery and enigma. It can be tied to ideas of purity and holiness. It's also associated at times with the Virgin Mary. It's associated with ISIS. It can be associated with Islam and the hijab and head certain kinds of head covering. It can also be associated with mourning, wearing a mourning veil, um, or it can be associated with marriage, with wearing a wedding veil. All of these things. And so, what is the veil? The veil is the creative known and unknown. If we tie it to the goddess Isis, the veil refers to the what the mortal mind or what the mortal being can never know. So there's information that we don't fully have access to on this side of reality. And the symbol of the veil makes us aware of that, makes us more aware of like, I think I know, but yet I don't. And so that's what comes up for me when I think about the veil. And but at the same time, the veil can be like an illusion or mystery or cloaking, a hiding. And so I look at this piece and I see this figure in a veil looking up at this star like thing. And it brings up ideas to me of faith and hope, and having hope while still being shielded, while still not knowing the entirety of a situation or the entirety of what is to come. Um, at the same time, I think of something of a face looking through a veil at a star, and I can imagine that the star would illuminate the face, and that for that in that interaction, the face can be seen more clearly, and the face can also see outside beyond the veil more clearly. It's like this break. It's not that the veil comes off, but it's that things get illuminated.